Good morning, children. Today I am going to start the third chapter, Kinship, Caste and Class. Children, in the previous chapter, we saw that there were several changes in economic and political life between C600 BCE and 600 CE. Some of these changes influenced society as well. For example, the extension of agriculture into forested areas transformed the lives of forest dwellers. Craft specialists often emerged as a distinct social group. The unequal distribution of wealth sharpened social differences. This differences is being seen in the society. Historians often use textual tradition to understand these processes. Some texts lay down norms of social behavior. Others describe and occasionally comment on a wide range of social situations and practices. We can also catch a glimpse of some social actors from inscription. As we will see, each text in inscription was written from the perspective of specific social categories. So we need to keep in mind who composed what and for whom. We also need to consider the language used and the ways in which the text circulated. In focusing on Mahabharata, a colossal epic running in its present form into over 1 lakh verses and depiction of a wide range of social categories and situations, we draw on one of the richest texts of the subcontinent. It was composed over a period of about 1,000 years. The epic narration of Mahabharata had been written ages ago, yet the legendary tale continues to find prominence in every form of art and continues to overwhelm us even today. It is one of the richest texts of the subcontinent. It was composed over a period of about 1,000 years, and some of the stories it contains may have been in circulation even earlier. Mahabharata is an important source of information on the development of Hinduism between 400 BCE and 200 BCE and is regarded by Hindus as both a text about dharma and a history. The central story is about two sets of warring cousins. The text also contains sections laying down norms of behavior for various social groups. Occasionally, the principal character seems to follow these norms. Let's see the next topic, the critical edition of Mahabharata. In 1919, under the leadership of noted Indian Sanskrit scholar V.S. Suthankar, a team of scholars initiated the task of preparing a critical edition of the Mahabharata. The team worked out a method of comparing verses from each manuscript. Ultimately, they selected the verses that appeared common to most versions and published these in several volumes running into over 13,000 pages. The project took 47 years to complete. Two things became apparent. There were several common elements in the Sanskrit version of the story evident in the manuscript found all over the subcontinent, from Kashmir and Nepal in the north to Kerala and Tamil Nadu in the south. Also evident were enormous regional variation in the ways in which the text had been transmitted over the centuries. These variations were documented in footnotes and appendixes to the main text. Taken together, more than half the 13,000 pages are devoted to these variations. Our understanding of this process. Let's see the rules and varied practices of the early society. To begin with, rules about families, the kinship. We often take family life for granted. However, we may not have noticed that not all families are identical. They vary in terms of numbers of members, their relationship with one another, as well as the kinds of activities they share. Often people belonging to the same family share resources and live, work and perform rituals together. Families are usually a part of larger networks of people defined as relatives, or to use a more technical term, kinfolk. While familial ties are often regarded as natural and based on blood, they are defined in many different ways. For example, some societies regard cousins as being blood relations whereas others do not. The ideal of paternomy. Children know the meaning of paternomy. It is a tracing descent from father to son, grandson, and so on. Can we identify points from kinship relation changed? At one level, the Mahabharata is a story about this. It describes a feud over land and power between two groups of cousins, the Kauravas and the Pandavas, who belonged to a single ruling family, that of the Kurus, a lineage dominating one of the Janpads. Ultimately, the conflict ended in a battle in which the Pandavas emerged victorious. After that, patrilineal succession was proclaimed. While patrilineally had existed prior to the composition of the epic, the central story of the Mahabharata reinforced the idea that it was valuable. Under patrilineal, sons could claim the resources, including the throne in the case of kings, of their fathers when the latter died.